a common question when you're lure fishing is that a lot of people are looking at ways of recovering their lures once they're stuck. Now, what I think is better to concentrate on is concentrate on the prevention of loss, and we're just going to go through that in a couple of simple steps. It will save you time and it will also save you money. Okay, step one, we're going to be looking at buying slightly thinner gauge hooks. And by gauge, what I mean is that the metal that constructs the hook is slightly thinner, and that way it can bend and straighten out easier and you can recover your lures. Step two is we're going to be looking at split rings. Now, split rings come in different strengths. They're just like line sizes. Now, what I've got here is I've got two different examples. As you can see, they're different sizes, but they're also different breaking strains. One's 35, one's 40. Don't overcomplicate the search for these when you're looking for them online. LB, split ring, bring up much more options. If you're looking for £30, for example, you might find 35 and 25 or 45 and 40. Rather than just looking for 30, it'll be much easier to find. Now, the idea behind these is that if you do end up with a snag, and we're going to go through a technique in just a minute, if you do pull on them, these are got the potential to break or to straighten open, and that way we can recover our lures. Okay, so step three is the connection between our lure and our main line. Now, what I have here is I've got a double trace that I would tend to use, 65-pound wire, I've got a stay-lock snap on here, and I've also got a rated swivel that's £100 rated. Now, with that connection there's unlikely to be any loss due to any part of the trace. Step four is really easy then. We're going to be tying a proper knot, something that's really strong that's going to hold our trace onto the main line. I personally prefer the Palomar knot, and I'm going to link that down below in the comments. Step five is looking at heavier line. Now, I'm using 80-pound braid here. Don't concentrate on that number in terms of putting too much pressure on the fish. Remember, that's the drag that determines that, as you can see. This has two benefits. First of all, it has a high resistance to freeing or abrasion resistance, which means that coming into contact with snags in the water, it's not going to break as easy. It's going to be much better than lighter lines. And the second point is that it has a high breaking strain, which is going to come in handy for point 6. Okay, step 6 is taking into account the previous points, in particular 1 and 2, where we've created a weakness at the lure end. Now, simply by taking our reel, putting our thumb onto the line itself to stop any of that coming out, holding onto the reel only. If you hold onto the rod, there's a chance of breaking the reel seat. Point your rod at the snag with no bends in it whatsoever. Again, there's a chance of breaking your rod at some point, and simply pull back. Keep that tight so that no line's coming out there whatsoever. You're not using the drag, you're just simply forcing the reel to stay completely stationary, and eventually the weakness, i.e. at the lure end, will eventually break in either a hook or a split ring, and you'll be able to recover your lure. And once you get that back, you can just replace either your hook or replace your split ring. Even if it's a hook that gives away, I would always check the split ring for weaknesses, replace both of them, and you're ready to go again.